Welcome back. All right, so bizarre night, of course, that I watched the start of games, and then I watched basically, I want to say 50 plus, or about 50 minutes of this game of the 60 that was played. We went to Glow in Langley. It's this fun little Christmas display sort of event that they have, and we went last year, so we went again this year, and it was fun. That being said, let's go ahead and start off tonight's recap, looking first at the Buffalo Sabres and the Detroit Red Wings. So I don't know what you get out of this one. This is kind of one where if you're a fan of either team and you want to see the positive, it's there. If you want to see the negative, it's there as well. So it's Anderson versus Nedeljkovic. Sundqvist had a rush that saved on a 2-on-1, and then Berggren, who's looked very good in his call-up, scores from Hronek and Veleno at 1:20, and it was a wrister during a pretty good press by the Red Wings. Kubelik's then denied the next shift. Gergensons couldn't bury one on a net drive, and then the Wings get a power play. During that, Buffalo scores. Shorthanded goal, it's Cousins from Anderson at 4:53. That's Craig Anderson with an assist. And you need a save there from Nedeljkovic. Nedeljkovic has had a rough start to the season, and it kind of continues in this one. So Sabres finish the kill. Shots at 6.5 minutes are 5-3 for the Wings. And then it's Samuelsson, and they kept the puck for this one. He gets his first from Dahlin at 8:25. That was only the fourth shot on goal for Buffalo. So again, rough start for Nedeljkovic, though his saves by the end of the night weren't that bad. Sabres press at the half. The Wings go back to the power play. That's killed off. The Wings would have a lot of power plays in this game. All of them killed off. Second period, Buffalo would score twice. First, it's Cousins from Peterka and Quinn at 8:12. And then on the power play, it's Skinner from Thompson and Dahlin at 10:17. Buffalo only had two opportunities. They made the most of what they had. And after two periods, it's 4-1. Third period, Buffalo had a hard time closing it out. At 6:51, it's Perron from Larkin and Hronek. Then at 10:41, it was Sundqvist from Kopp and Osterley. And then at 12:31, Sundqvist ties it from Andrew Kopp. So Kopp with a couple of helpers. It's going to overtime. Overtime solved nothing. So they go to the shootout, and Dahlin with the winner in the shootout. Your final score is 5-4, shootout victory for Buffalo. They go to 10-12-1 with the win. Detroit drops to 11-6-5. So, Buffalo lost a lead, but they win in the shootout. Detroit was down 4-1 going into the third, and they tied the game. So, 3 stars in this one, Cousins, Sundqvist, and Dahlin. Shots, 16-12 Detroit in the first, 12-11 Buffalo in the second, 17-8 Detroit in the third. In the overtime, the shots 2-1 for Buffalo. Overall, the shots were 45-34 for Detroit. Power plays, Buffalo 1 for 2. Detroit 0 for 7. Hits 25-10 for Detroit, so they outshot them and they outhit them. Anderson 41 saves on 45 shots. Nedeljkovic saves 30 out of 34. And so, yeah, I mean, it really depends on how you view this game. Was it a choke by Buffalo? Was it a huge comeback by Detroit? Do you count it as a choke when they get that extra point in the shootout? Probably. But anyways, we'll move on to the next game. The New York Rangers in against the Ottawa Senators. Halak versus Talbot. Big night for Yarrow Halak. 0-5-1 on the season coming into this one. Finally, they gave him a little bit of support. He had a good game. Kravtsov has a net drive that's defended. The Rangers had the only 2 shots in the game 3.5 minutes in. Kelly flattens Trouba. Clean hit. Brings a cheer from the crowd. And the Ottawa Senators wearing their reverse retros. Look good. Rangers press at 5.5 minutes. Hamonic has a shot that's saved as the Sens press. Stützle couldn't bury one in close, and then it's Vesey. He buries a rebound on what had been a good forecheck by the Rangers. Lindgren with the assist at 10:34. Sens press with 6.5 minutes left, but after the first period, it's 1-0 Rangers. Second period, the Rangers would add to that lead as Barclay Goodrow from Lindgren and Blais at 10:52. Ryan Lindgren decided, tonight I'm getting the points. Told Adam Fox, you can defend, I'll go ahead and get the points tonight. But Ottawa would break the shutout at 13:47 of the second. It's Pinto with his 9th. He was due for one. He scores from Batherson and Holden. So after 2 periods, it's 2-1. But in the third period, Kreider scores his 11th of the season from Lindgren and Zibanejad at 12:59. That's your insurance goal, and that finishes it out. The final score is 3-1 for the Rangers. They go to 11-9-4. They needed this one. For the Sens, they dropped to 8-13-1. Really frustrating start to the season for Ottawa. Your 3 stars, and like I've been saying, it's quarter of the season's done. I keep saying start, but really it's just past the quarter mark now, so yeah, it's a little late for it being the start. Lindgren, Halak, and Kreider are your 3 stars, so all of them Rangers. The shots in this one, 13-7 Ottawa in the first, 13-11 Rangers in the second, and then 16-11 Rangers in the third. Final shots, 36-35 for the Rangers. Power plays, New York 0 for 2, Ottawa 0 for 3. The hits, 31-30 for Ottawa. So the hits, the shots, both very close. Halak saves 34 out of 35, gets his first victory as a Ranger, and Talbot saves 33 out of 36. So some boxes get ticked off for the Rangers. They win a game they needed to, and they finally get that win from the backup goaltender. And overall, just a pretty good game overall by the New York Rangers, which, again, they desperately needed. All right, next on the board. Toronto at home against San Jose. Now, this would have been labeled a trap game, I would think, a couple weeks ago, but Toronto's playing pretty well. It's Dell versus Samsonov in this one. Yeah, I'm going to start saying Samsonov because that's what everybody's saying, even though it had changed to Samsonov. And I remember Sergei Samsonov for the Bruins. I don't know. Yeah, it's fine. Samsonov. 21 seconds of silence for Salming before the game. I thought that was a nice touch. The Salming tributes rolling in, of course. Giordano has a shot that's blocked on the first shift. Bunting then had a turnover chance that was held. The shots are 4-2 for the Leafs at 5 minutes. Carlson then had a turnover chance that deflects out. Hurdle then had a rush chance that was saved. The Leafs press at 9 minutes. Gregor had a fast break, fired wide. He had 2 pretty good opportunities in that first 10 minutes. Strong puck pressure by the Sharks, but were scoreless after 1. Second period, it is the Leafs that open the scoring. Austin Matthews with his 12th of the season from Hollowell, and Bunting at 4:19. So again, that overly injured blue line is pitching in, and everybody that jumps in ends up doing pretty well. Nieto would answer at 7:26 from Couture and Cicek, so it's 1-1 after 2. And again, this is where the Leafs, a couple weeks ago, they might have found a way to lose this. They're not now. Third period, it takes a while, but eventually they get it. It's Engvall from Kerfoot and Kampf at 17:33 puts them ahead, so San Jose pulls the goaltender to try to get the tie, and Marner gets that point. He gets an empty net goal to run his point streak to 18 games. Kerfoot with the assist at 18:49. Your final score is 3-1 for the Leafs, wearing their beautiful reverse retros. I know people say that's the same as their regular jersey. It's not. If you take a close look, they're really not. 15-5-1 now for the Leafs with that 3-1 win. For San Jose, 8-14-4 on the season. 3 stars. Marner, who's now equaled the team record at 18 games for his point streak. Samsonov and Matthews. Samsonov with a very good game in his return. The goaltending has honestly been a very good gamble by Kyle Dubas. And so, yeah, give him credit. The shots in this one, 10-7 Detroit, or 10-7 Detroit. 10-7 Toronto in the first, 12-11 Toronto in the second, 10-6 Toronto in the third. Final shots, 32-24 for the Leafs. Power plays, San Jose didn't have any. Toronto went 0 for 3. The hits were 49-18 for San Jose. There's that puck pressure there. Dell, 29 saves on 31 shots. Played quite well. Samsonov saves 23 out of 24, and he gets the victory. So, overall, for the Leafs, I think they're going to be pretty happy with this one. Don't you? All right. Last game of the night, the one I saw the most of, was the Oilers and the Blackhawks. And I was worried I was going to need a tiny board for this one. I haven't needed that yet this year. This one got close. I had the choice between either a tiny board or writing in this white space down here. I thought, nah, I'd rather not. So Skinner versus Soderblom in this one. The shots are 7-4 for the Oilers at 7.5 minutes left. That's when I came in. And apparently the Oilers had been generating plenty of chances out of those 7 shots. The Hawks press, but they're kept to the outside. McDavid to Draisaitl, near miss there. That wouldn't be a near miss for long. Oilers get a power play, good cycle. Hyman scores. Goalie interference challenge, and yes, that goal comes off. So that's 2 games in a row where Hyman scored a goal, and it comes off the board. Previous game, of course, it was a kick. McDavid then has a chance that's held. That power play's killed off. Athanasiou has a net feed that's blocked, but after the first period, it's scoreless. Second period, early press by the Hawks. They're kept to the outside, and then there's a turnover. Puck goes the other way, and it's in the net. It's Draisaitl from Nurse and Kulak at 54 seconds. Very easy goal for Leon on that one, too. He just had to kind of tap that one in. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins then has a shot that's held next shift, so the Oilers with the momentum. Khrushchev had a net drive. That was defended. The Oilers get a power play. Post for McDavid. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has a shot that's held. So that's killed off. The overall shots at the end of that power play, 20-6 for the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah, they were really all over Chicago in this one. That score was really flattering the Blackhawks. The Hawks press at 9 minutes, but at 9:48, on a really nice brief little press there, Puljujarvi passes it from behind the net to Nugent Hopkins, who one times at home. So Nugent Hopkins with the goal from Puljujarvi and Janmark at 9:48. The Oilers press for another. We get some pushing when Soderblom saves the puck there. Tkachuk then had a tip on a rush that was saved. The Hawks press with 6 minutes left, and Tkachuk ends up getting a goal. He scores from Jack Johnson, an end whistle at 14:33. It deflected in off his leg, but a goal's a goal, and he'll take it, right? Then there was a post for Hyman, and there was a post for Darnell Nurse. I think they said the Oilers had 6 posts tonight. Something ridiculous. May have been more than that. So, yeah, the Oilers draw their third power play, but 3 seconds in, that's over, and it becomes a 4-on-4. There's a near miss for Dickinson then during the 4-on-4 as the Hawks press. The Hawks draw a power play with 1:39 left, so that rolls over into the third period where the Oilers finish the kill. McDavid would score from Draisaitl and Kulak at 1:18, and it was a beast mode goal by McDavid. He just decided, I guess I'll do it myself. The Oilers were giving very little space. They're up by 2 at this point. The Hawks had really nothing to look at. That would change. So power play for the Oilers. Draisaitl has a shot that's saved as the Oilers cycled. That was killed off. Puljujarvi has a rush chance that's saved. Jack Johnson was denied. The Oilers ice it. And then on a 2-on-1 and a really nice pass on a one-timer, Janmark gets his first as an Oiler from Nugent Hopkins and Bouchard at exactly the halfway mark, at the 10-minute mark of the period. And the Hawks then get a power play, and they score on it. It's Domi at 12:37. And then 19 seconds later, while they're still announcing that goal, the Hawks make it closer. It's Entwistle on his first goal of the year from Reese Johnson. It was a perfect tip by Entwistle in front of the net. The Oilers would try to answer, and eventually they do. On 2-on-1, a one-timer, it's Draisaitl. This is the first multi-goal game he's had this year. Surprised me too. From McDavid and Hyman at 15:21. So all the Oilers have to do is, they're up by 2. Just, hold on. Just hold on. Don't worry. Oh, it's a 4-minute power play for the Hawks. So during the second half of that 4-minute power play at 18:49, Domi scores from Kane, makes it a 1-goal game. They pull the goaltender. They had some chances, but in the end, the Oilers hang on. Your final score is 5-4 for the Edmonton Oilers. They go to 13-10. They've now won 3 in a row. For the Hawks, they're 6-12-4 with the loss, so they continue to tumble. Your 3 stars are Draisaitl, Janmark, and Entwistle. Who had those 3 getting stars tonight? Your shots, 14-6 Edmonton in the first, 11-7 Edmonton in the second, 16-12 Edmonton in the third. Final shots, 41-25 for the Oilers. Power plays, the Oilers 0 for 4, Chicago 2 for 6. The hits, 21-14 in favor of Chicago. Skinner saves 21 out of 25. Soderblom saves 36 out of 41. So there you go. Very entertaining games tonight, for the most part, from what I saw. And there you see the difference between when I watch the games and when I don't. Because there are times where people will say, I don't think he actually watches the games. Well, of course I do. The reason the notes are there is to show that I watch the games. So anyways, there you go. And if you haven't checked out any of the Glow stuff that's going on in the Lower Mainland, they've got one coming up in Abbotsford here at TradeX, which once I told Yvonne about that, she's like, oh, we'll have to go to that one too. So, yeah, and they've got the one in Langley, like I said, and it's enjoyable, but bundle up. It's outdoors, and it's cold. The one in TradeX in Abbotsford, that'll be indoors. So anyways, there you go. Nice free plug for somebody that didn't ask for it. So let me know your thoughts regarding these games in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. And one other thing I want to say in closing, I've had people asking if I'm going to re-rank the reverse retros when they're all in my possession. Yes. I will re-rank the reverse retros when I have them and compare it to the rankings I gave them initially on site, because when you see them online, it is different than seeing them in person. It's different on TV than it is in person as well, and I have no problem going through that when I do that countdown. So look out for that over the next week or two. But between now and then, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. There are 11 games tomorrow in the NHL, so I'll be ready for that. And yeah, looking forward to watching those and reviewing those games for all you fine people on the internet. Thanks again for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.